डैड वाज लाइक कि तुम्हें जाना है तो जाओ, बट टैक्स से जाओगे तो वापस मत आना। इतना जनरस होने की जरूरत नहीं थी। आई थिंक INR कैलकुलेशन थोड़ा चालू कर दो।
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Abroad Unplugged's podcast series. Today we have Atharva with us, who came to the United States to pursue his bachelor's in information technology from the University of Cincinnati, and now he has made his way back to India to kickstart his career from Google. Today we'll learn more from him about his study abroad experiences and how he get into Google back in India. So without further ado, let's roll into the conversation. Welcome to Abroad Unplugged, Adhar.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah.
let's roll into the conversation. काफी बच्चे अपनी ग्रेजुएशन लाइक अंडर ग्रेड के लिए प्रिपेयर करने लगते हैं 10th 11th से लाइक आईआईटी जेई की प्रेप करने लगते हैं. सो व्हेन डिड यू
Mhm.
डिसाइडेड दैट यू नीड टू डू योर बैचलर्स फ्रॉम आउट ऑफ इंडिया लाइक यूएस?
See, I'll be very honest. I was one of them who do the 10th, then science leke they'll do JE preparations for to get into IIT basically. That's the end plan for everybody, I think. So I started off similarly. I did my mains, I cleared my mains and then advanced I was supposed to appear, but tab tak I think I had my Cincinnati ka approval in hand, like acceptance letter.
When did you apply?
So yeah, exactly. So thoda rolling back, being thoda being a fan of Nolan movies, so I'll go back and forth in timeline. But what happened was कि I finished my 12th. मतलब when I was doing my 12th actually, तभी I had decided कि see JE preparations are all good, and even if I get into it, it's good. But given the odds that how many people apply and how many people get in, am I one of them that who can get in? I mean, I was being thoda self-aware and uh, realistic in a way कि जितना मेहनत करना पड़ेगा, I'm ready to do that मेहनत, but is that a guaranteed win for me? Then I kind of was like कि it's kind of I felt like a gamble. So I was like, might as well explore other opportunities that I have in hand. So one of them was to give SATs and apply, you know, for like a broad education undergrad के लिए. So I started doing that SATs वगैरह because तो and SATs का timeline also fall very ऐसा conveniently. So I think I gave my SAT on in December, and I think JEE exams are in April or March, somewhere like in the first half of the year. So I was like, कि चलो दे ही देते हैं SAT. What's the worst that can happen? And then I gave my SAT, and I think SAT का scores literally you get in like 2 weeks, and then and literally December 3rd was my SAT. December 18th was my TOEFL exam. मैंने दोनों दे दिए, and I was waiting on grades, and then I got pretty good scores. So I was like, might as well apply. Again, what's the worst that can happen? If I get into JEE, I get it. Like if I get into IIT, I get into IIT. If I don't, then I don't. But might as well have some other options in hand. So I think I got my score back in February. I started applying, and by the time I think JEE का paper आ रहा था, तब तक I had my Cincinnati and like other colleges का approval in hand. If I'm not wrong, I can't remember इतना अच्छे से. पर and then I think I gave up on the JEE thing कि यार अभी क्यों ही इतना करना है, because I'm like कि अगर मिल ही गया अच्छा college with some good scholarship, then might as well do it from. And Cincinnati at that time was ranked, if I'm not wrong, 19th or 17th, top 19 or top 17 among 200 like universities in the US for IT. The
ID.
degree that, the degree that I was pursuing. So I was like, कि, okay, and then even if I don't clear my advance, then I'll have to settle for like triple IITs or like some any other college in India, which is again a good thing. But I was like, कि, might as well give it a shot and then
Mhm.
go for it. Basically, why not? So yeah, I
Okay.
think that was my approach initially, and I think my parents also supported after a while. कि like ठीक है, do what you want to do. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Because मैंने SATs and TOEFL के बारे में I didn't inform my parents. I was like कि might as well do it on my own. जब आगे इस कोर्स तभी I was like कि ये ऐसे ऐसे है.
तो
Like this is
पेरेंट्स
what is
मान रहे
there.
थे लाइक मतलब उनको एकदम से नहीं हुआ था कि लाइक एकदम से 12th के बाद हम भेजते हैं लाइक फ्रॉम सेफ्टी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू
Oh,
एंड
नहीं, obviously not. My mom was very ऐसा, I mean, she still is very protective. तो he's like, अरे 12th के बाद क्यों जाना है? टेप अकेला खाना नहीं बनाना आता, कुछ नहीं, मैगी पे रहोगे 2 साल. चार साल जो भी. And I was like कि नहीं, that's not the issue. पर I sat them down and basically you have to talk to them about कि देखो, it's okay. IIT का education ये है. This is what they will teach me in the abroad. And basically you have to like list out the pros and cons of doing both the things. So I feel somewhere the pros outweighed the cons by doing my undergrad in the US. Um, and also, Tabhi, if you remember, the situation in the US was not as bad as it currently is, technically.
Right.
The job market was much more like open, and I think there were a lot of opportunities in the US, I feel, Tabhi.
And
And that's why I think I got lucky.
um,
Yeah, I left in 2019 August.
okay, ठीक है.
Hmm.
एंड
And
थोड़ा सा ब्रीफ में बताओगे लाइक एनरोल करने का प्रोसेस क्या था एंड तुमने कब स्टार्ट किया लाइक फॉर्मली कब स्टार्ट किया लाइक इसके लिए एनरोल करना एसएटीज कब दिया लाइक यू मेंशन
I
ब्रीफ में.
don't remember technically what's the deadline for SATs, but I do remember कि it was it was very end moment because plan इतना फटाक से बन गया था कि I was like कि दे ही देते हैं, because my friend was like giving SATs and he was like कि तुम दे ही दो, क्या ही issue है. The only thing was कि money was a problem because TOEFL का exam, if I'm not wrong, costs upward of like 12,000 INR.
हाँ.
So, so that is a thing. Ki you can't. I mean, you can repeat those exams, but it's better if you clear it in as a one shot.
Okay.
So I feel SATs. I don't remember when I had applied, but basically the application process is very simple. You give your SATs and you give your TOEFL exam, which TOEFL is basically English proficiency ke liye, so it's not very difficult. But yeah, and then wait for the scores, and then I think I see like if I'm not wrong, what's the is college board the parent that handles SATs? If I'm not wrong, I think uh, college board will give an option कि तुम SAT scores अपने भेज दो to these universities. You pick those universities and
एंड कौन कौन
they will send you.
यू सिलेक्टेड लाइक कौन कहाँ कहाँ पे अप्लाई किया था.
So I think I had selected NYU. I had selected Cincinnati. I had selected Toledo. I think there was UMass Lal. There was I think there was one in Texas as well. But my dad was like कि तुम्हें जाना है तो जाओ, but Texas जाओगे तो वापस मत आना. So I was like कि नहीं जाऊंगा मैं Texas फिर. Because I think my dad kept a tab on like all the states. Like literally my dad had क्या बोलते हैं, a sheet that like listed all the cities and listed all the uh, what do you call states to and the good places to live in. How's the condition there? How's the like basically living condition there? How's the localities there? Basically सब research मेरे dad ने किया था. And I had to just handpick कि हाँ ये this looks good, this looks good. But and there is I think a good portal also for that. I don't remember. I think it's called Niche or something.
Okay.
NICHE. That kind of lists everything around the university. So I think my dad used that also to do the research. But yeah, I think these were the universities that I applied to basically.
एंड फिर यूसी क्यों चूज किया.
As I said earlier, कि UC का program was a very unique one because every other university that I applied to had a very similar program कि 4 साल का course है, उसमें से I think 3 years you finish your degree and 1 year it's internships, and I think three what do you call semesters of co-op, or like what do they call
हाँ वो.
internships basically. So a year basically. So I was right. So 3 years of studying, 1 year of internships, whereas UC offered 5 co-ops. So
Okay.
that was so it's a 5 year degree with like I said, I think uh, more than 1 year of internships, and then and the learning I think remains the same. The learning period remains the same, but again, learning period in the US is very flexible. So I finished the learning part in like think 2 years or 2.5 years. Sub credits हो गए 120 credits, and then it was just internships after that. So
Okay.
but yeah, so I think this is the one thing that convinced me to take Cincinnati, uh, because I feel in the long run vocex is what counts and not the degree actually is.
Right.
I
Right.
feel.
And
Yeah.
like when you landed here for the first time कोई कल्चर शॉक या कोई चैलेंज आया ऑन योर
Oh
फर्स्ट
my
डे?
God, I have a very incredible story about this. So the day I landed at like I saw 3:30 in Cincinnati, and I think I was living. I don't remember the name of the street, but one of the dorms basically. And
ओ हाँ, फर्स्ट ईयर
uh,
रिक्वायरमेंट होती है दैट यू हैव टू बी ऑन एंड
yes, you have to live on campus. It's not a requirement. It's just a suggeson because students आते ही कहाँ भटकने जाएंगे types. So it's basically easier to just stay in a dorm for a while and then look for your own apartments. But so I land, I go to my dorm, and basically the dorm is empty because nobody has moved in up tak. So me and my friends, all of them who have traveled from India, we meet at my place and we are just chilling ऐसा रात को कि कुछ नहीं हो रहा. We I think we ordered pizza, and this was also a shock. My friend went to get Domino's niche, and I think the bill was about 55 or 65. I think it was 65. So he handed him a $50 note and I think $20 bill. And ये बंदा I think 5 या 7 डॉलर ज्यादा कुछ तो टिप दे के आया था उस दिन. मैंने बोला कि तुमने इतना इतना जनरस होने की जरूरत नहीं थी. आई थिंक INR कैलकुलेशन थोड़ा चालू कर दो. पर yeah, I think this was one of the things that happens कि people forget के multiply by 73 करना पड़ता है. But yeah, this was not the story. But basically we are hanging out and रात को we ऐसा kind of are about to doze off and we hear gunshots. Gunshots as in like a magazine is getting, cleared basically. कि we hear an entire magazine
लाइक इन अराउंड कैंपस?
around the campus. And then we are like, dude, something's wrong, okay? Uh, Something's going wrong abhi yahan pe. And we, all of us freak out. And then we are like, कि ऐसा रात को ऐसा एक दूसरे के हाथ पकड़ के गले लग के कि नहीं कुछ नहीं होगा types. We console each other and then we try to doze off again. And we hear another magazine get, cleared. And then we are like, okay, now something's definitely wrong. So somehow we doze off and managed to stay alive through the night. And next day the not the security but the maintenance guy was there at my dorm. So we just happened to ask him, here's what happened last night, do you know anything that that went down? And he's like, yeah, बाजू के क्लब में कुछ तो बार ब्रॉल हो गया and I think 3 people got shot and 2 are injured.
एंड ही
We
वाज
are like,
लाइक वेरी नॉर्मल टेलिंग
they are very normal about like ऐसा gun culture and gunshots like going around, and we are like in for a lack of a better word फट गई थी पर बहुत ज्यादा. तो but yeah, I think gun culture in the US was very, because I have had very like close, not close experiences, but like very plenty of experiences regarding like gun culture in the US. So I just kept my distance and was very safe. Yeah.
Wow, that was quite an
And
experience.
if you are aware, I think Cincinnati used to also send mails. The university also used to send
या
mails
या
कि
या
ये
मेरे
street
को
पे
भी
मत
बहुत
जाओ.
आते थे. सो वी
Yeah, yeah.
केम इन कोविड वाला ईयर, सो दिसंबर 2020 में फॉल में आने वाले थे, लेकिन हमने डेफर किया बिकॉज ऑफ कोविड.
Mhm,
वी स्टार्टेड इन द स्प्रिंग सेमेस्टर मास्टर्स के लिए. एंड आई
mhm,
रिमेम्बर मैं पहले शिकागो आई थी एंड आफ्टर 15-20 डेज आई मूव्ड इन जब प्रोग्राम स्टार्ट होने वाला था. एंड वी वर लिविंग
right.
ऑफ कैंपस. तो उस
Mhm.
टाइम पे कॉलेज तो खुल गया था बिकॉज कोविड था, तो ओपन तो हो गया था, बट क्लासेस थोड़ी ऑनलाइन थी थोड़ी कैंपस पे थी. बट वी ऑन द सेकेंड डे इटसेल्फ आई गॉट दैट मैसेज कि किसी ने रिपोर्ट किया है, इंसिडेंट हुआ है कुछ, एंड अभी स्टे अवे फ्रॉम दीज
I
एरियाज.
used to be, yeah, yeah, yeah. That
दैट
used
वाज
to
माय फर्स्ट
freak
डे जब
us
मैं
out.
कॉलेज जाने वाली थी. मेरे लिए पता है सबसे बड़ा कल्चर शॉक मतलब लाइक यूनिवर्सिटी पर्सपेक्टिव से क्या था, बिकॉज इंडिया में यूनिवर्सिटीज जनरली ऐसे कोई भी नहीं घुस सकता, ओनली स्टूडेंट्स और पेरेंट्स या प्रोस्पेक्टिव स्टूडेंट्स.
Right,
क्योंकि वो आईडी
right.
दिखाओ या
Yeah,
कुछ हो
ID
गया.
check करो, like
हाँ,
the security
मैं आई
guard
थी
is there.
and I was like, ये तो ओपन है और इतने सारे इसके एंट्री है, कोई भी कहीं से भी घुस सकता है.
Exactly, there's no exact perimeter where the university starts or stops, like ends
हाँ
basically.
हाँ, बहुत बड़ा
It's just कि
कैंपस होता है.
एक फुटपाथ है, फुटपाथ के बाजू में यूनिवर्सिटी है, फुटपाथ के बाजू में नहीं है. That's it basically.
हाँ
There's
हाँ
no perimeter.
हाँ. एंड एवरीबडी कैन एंटर, ऐसे लाइब्रेरी एक्सेस कर सकते हो, कहीं पे भी जा सकते हो.
Hmm.
हाँ,
Hmm.
वो
Hmm.
चीज मेरे को थोड़ी सी वो लगी थी कमिंग फ्रॉम इंडियन बैकग्राउंड की, वहां तो ऐसा नहीं होता.